Metal Scholars, today's the video, actually the last video, from the self-released EP 1. It was released in 2016, a couple of videos on it. So in a nutshell, I think that When the Bough Breaks is a song about a relationship that's falling apart, hence the metaphor of the tree bough, you know? There's the famous saying, when the bough breaks, the cradle will fall. And that means that when you lose that support, when everything's gone, your perspective and your world will unfortunately fall apart. And the bough here seems to be related to love loss. If we analyze the words that Vessel picked, I think is just similar to reading poetry. All you can do is just connect the words to the context and then try to generate this map of correspondences, and that will help you weave a web of possible meanings, possible interpretations. You know, mind you, it's always going to be hazy, but regardless, let's just give it a try. So he begins kind of like singing, you know, a cappella, a lullaby. It's like his lover is sleeping right there, you know, she's just you know, standing there, and he starts singing a cappella, kind of like, you could stay alive the way I left you breathing. So it's kind of like, you know, as if he was saying, well, the relationship will go on. It will prevail. Just notice the things that I do for this relationship, you know, for it to work out. Even when the times are really harsh, I still care about you. That's obviously said in a very poetic way, right? Even in dark and all those things. But you have the overall picture of, well, there's a lot of bad things going on, but I do care. And I need you to notice that I'm putting the effort. And when the main character says, sometimes when we touch, everything we love resets. Well, you see, that's important to notice that he says sometimes here, and that means that they may have some sort of like make-up sex or they make amends, but sometimes not even this touching and getting close to the other person will reset the situation. There will be grudge or resentment, and the main character keeps his hopes up. There's this poetic way to compare these images to a relationship. It's like dying, the relationship is falling apart, but what he has presented should be enough to help the couple, but it's simply not enough. And deep inside, he actually knows it, unfortunately, and he continues to juxtapose good and bad. Now he says, well, we could be released, flowing over sorrow days. That, in my opinion, means that they could and they should find a way to let go of the resentment and just reset, but it doesn't feel like it's working. And he then gives us the lines, we could stay suspended even when the bough breaks. Even when the bough breaks. It's like the bough, it's suspended in the darkness, floating, and it's still got roots, right? I mean, it's the branch. And he's just saying it will branch out. In my opinion, this is decisive. You know, it's a branch of a new religion, a new way of thinking. It's a relationship of worshiping love that could have been, you know, something that can only be relived through dreams, through sleep. And I think I'll be working on this idea in future videos, but this is the first part of the song, you know, and like I said, it feels like singing these words. You know, she's just sleeping there. There's this lullaby aspect that's going on, and everything is just mellow and beautiful, and he stops. And when he stops, you hear the piano, and they play this perfect fifth. It's the most natural interval. It's a true classic interval, you know. The notes are very pretty, very luscious. It's a song in D major. The notes are just soothing, you know. They alternate between D major and F sharp minor, and it's not really menacing, but at the same time, it's like this. It's not menacing as long as you're not lying to me. Just don't lie to me. You know, he begins this prayer, like repeating over and over again, don't lie to me, in a sweet and mellow way, but it's kind of like a threat, you know? And this is just key for us to understand how Vessel has this dual yin-yang personality. You know, he can be sweet, but he can be freaking dangerous. It's kind of like, you know, he goes from just a mellow out dude to American Psycho all of a sudden. And the idea will continue with his following choice of words. You know, he links the transformation of water into blood. So it's the liquid of life with water becoming the liquid that you're exposed to when you die, you know. So there's like, again, life and death. And he says, it's incredible that we mar everything that we touch, right? I mean, it gets bloody. And then it looks like he nails it when he says, you don't really love, you just hate to be alone. And this shows that either he or his girl are emotionally immature, since they can't really be alone, right? They can't stand being alone. That means, in a way, you don't really like to be around yourself, basically. You know, you need to distract yourself with somebody else, but then you're just wasting that person's time. So you need to grow up and really face the world. You are your very own temple. You need to get your shit together. And that way, you're going to be able to invite someone else to experience life with you. And when we notice that shit's hitting the fan, it's, you know, when we pretend that nothing's going on. Kind of like when he says, you try to look away even when the bough breaks. And this is actually a defense mechanism. It's the fight or flight mechanism, you know. We want to escape. There's got to be a way for us not to face the consequences. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. And eventually, you will need to face the demon. And that's when the genty part comes along. You know, in the end, we're dealing with pain. We're dealing with this gap. And we have the binging, and now we're trying to purge. And the metal riffs are just very fitting because you want to scream. You want to run. And this is this cathartic moment. And it's a beautiful way to end this amazing story. That's a wrap for me, Metal Scholars. Please make sure that you watch the video. Please like and sub if you can. Please make sure that you watch my other videos here. There's like a fretless bass cover of the heavy part of this song. If you haven't seen it, it's right here on the cards, and all of my other videos on Sleep Token. You know, it's the first season with the 1 EP. So what do you think? What's your perspective on this song? I want to know what you think. Please hit me in the comment section. Like the video, hit the bell button. Again, music is what music does, and I'm signing out. Bye now.